Hello and welcome everybody, I am Brandon, and today we're going to talk about that Ubisoft Forward live stream that I quite literally just watched before I started doing this video. It was, disappointing. I didn't expect much out of this show, if I'm being completely honest. Everything that we've seen up to this point has already been announced, and they're more or less just showing off gameplay or where the game is at this point in time. And then of course we had the Far Cry 6 announcement that was actually leaked earlier in the week. So a lot of this stuff isn't exactly new to anyone who's following the game cycle, but I figured I'd go over it anyway and give you guys all my thoughts and opinions. So without further ado, welcome to another episode of the shit you care about. So yeah, I just watched the Ubisoft Forward live stream. It was fine. Like I mentioned earlier, there really wasn't a lot new, at least to me here. If you've been following the game news at all this past week, you've probably seen that Far Cry 6 was already leaked over on the Hong Kong PlayStation Store, if I'm not wrong there. And the rest of the stuff they showed off was more or less things that we already knew about. We just hadn't seen gameplay for it, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or we just needed to see more from it, like Watchdogs Legion, which we have already seen a little bit of.
These ladies fucking invented hacking!
Anyway, jumping right into it, we'll go with Watchdogs Legion first, since that's the first thing they showed off at the show. Overall, this game looks fine. I really like the setting. I thought that little film that they showed off before the gameplay was really fucking cool. The guy who directed that short film was one of the guys who did the concept art for Into the Spider-Verse, and you can definitely tell with all the chromatic abrasions and the crazy use of color. It was beautiful, honestly. That was easily my highlight of the Watchdogs Legion section. And then they got into the gameplay, and it looked a lot like a Watch Dogs game. I don't really know what else to say about it. The combat sort of has a John Wick feel to it, which I'm kind of digging. It even maybe made me think of like Hotline Miami or even The Last of Us 2. You're like going in there guns blazing, you got lots of different gadgets to play with. And because of the gameplay mechanics that they've set up where you kind of can use any NPC in the world as a different hero to play as, essentially, you kind of gotta pick the right guy for the job. The combat looks very kinetic, as in you can kind of go from one guy to the next and kind of set up this chess plan in motion as you're mowing down dudes. Definitely seems like you're gonna have a lot of options for how you want to approach each situation. This is very Ubisoft, and honestly that's kind of where the problems come into play. I'm afraid that this game is going to be a litany of just Ubisoft mechanics where it's go to one point, open up the city, find a bunch of other points, talk to this dude, be friends with that guy, and you got a new car. And it really just doesn't seem like they're doing a lot to change up how you go about playing a Watch Dogs game. And even furthermore, this game looks a lot like every other Ubisoft game, even Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'll get into in a moment. Anyway, I love the setting. I think the futuristic Britain sort of feel is really cool. The whole any NPC is a character you can play is very ambitious, and I'm definitely curious to see how that's gonna actually play out when we get the game. But if it ends up coming through, it could be a pretty solid open world game. Anyway, without sticking on this too long, it does seem like we got an October release date for this game, and I guess let me know what you guys think down below. I'm kind of on the fence about the whole Watch Dogs Legion thing, honestly. Next up, they showed off some more of HyperScape. This is that game that they debuted on Twitch maybe a week or two ago now. It's a battle royale. What else do you gotta say about it? Nah, but I really do actually think this looks kind of interesting. I didn't get a chance to play it when they were giving out keys on Twitch, so doing an open beta is kind of cool. I'd definitely be down to at least hop in and give it a shot. It's a battle royale game, but it seems like it has kind of some more battle arena feels, which is what I could get into. And Jesus Christ, they spent like 6 minutes just letting the director of the game talk your ear off about how cool he thinks he is. That was annoying. Anyway, HyperScape, if you guys have played it, let me know what you think down below. I'm gonna give it a try myself. I'll probably do a little Let's Play or something for you guys if you're interested, so let me know. And then we had Mr. Phil Spencer from Xbox come out without a microphone and tell us that ray tracing and smart delivery will be coming to Watch Dogs.
DirectX ray tracing.
Seriously, man, just go buy like a Blue Yeti. They're like 80 bucks at this point. I don't understand why the head of Xbox doesn't have a microphone. It's ridiculous. Okay, anyway, we're on to Assassin's Creed Valhalla now, and they finally showed us real gameplay footage of this game. You guys remember, what was it, like a month ago now, that they showed off the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay trailer, and it was really just a giant cut of cinematics put together. Well, they finally gave us some real gameplay, and it looks like an Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what else to say about this. I mean, no doubt they're taking all of the ideas that they had in Origins and Odyssey to that next level, and I'm definitely super excited to see them blending back into the crowd. That is exciting, but it really seems like a big ploy for those who are asking for more stealth mechanics to be brought back into the world of Assassin's Creed. They definitely have gone all out with the Dark Souls feel on this game, and it is just apparent by the gameplay footage. I'm not saying that it's gonna be a bad or unfun game, but I definitely don't see myself picking this up on day one, and I'm probably gonna wait the 3 months for it to go on sale and then pick it up for 40, 30 bucks. Overall, I'm not hugely impressed by the whole thing, but I really did like the whole siege mechanics they had, where it looks like you're gonna be like doing assault on castles and stuff like that. That looks almost straight ripped out of For Honor, to be honest. Anyway, not that there's not exciting mechanics going on here, and that I don't think it doesn't look pretty good, just nothing really that's blowing my skirt up, if you will. And last but not least, they finally dropped the official teaser trailer for Far Cry 6. At first, they kind of had a James Bond-esque opening cinematic, which was very pretty to look at, I have to admit. And then that led into a cutscene with our evil villain, Giancarlo Esposito, who looks awesome, by the way. It was pretty brief for the most part, but it was just a little exchange between Giancarlo and his son, I believe his name is Diego. Definitely hit home the hardest. That being said, I'm tempering my expectations because I've played a lot of Far Cry, and generally the evil villain sort of just talks to you through the radio on occasion, and you get a couple cutscenes with him, and then you don't see him a whole lot after that. If I'm excited for anything coming out of Far Cry, it's that maybe they're gonna switch up the formula a little bit. I was a pretty big fan of Far Cry 3, and then Far Cry 4 and 5 was sort of just a big lull for me. Not that I didn't enjoy them, but after so many hours, it sort of just feels like you're doing the same thing over and over, and most of the characters aren't nearly as interesting as the main evil villain that they show off at the beginning of the game. That being said, Ubisoft knows how to throw together a fucking cutscene, man. Wow, it is beautiful, it was captivating, and easily the best part of the whole Ubisoft Forward experience. Really, really excited to see more of that, but as of right now, I don't have much else to say about it. They didn't show off any gameplay. Funny enough, after the show, they did announce that there were pre-order bonuses, and they announced like 5 different special editions for this game, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, seeing as how we haven't even seen gameplay of this yet. What the fuck, Ubisoft? This is a terrible marketing move. Oh my god. There's no better way for me to get immediately disappointed in what you're doing than to not show me any real gameplay footage and then try and sell me a Steelbook special edition of your game with pre-order bonuses that I don't even know what they do or what they are, because I have no context, man. Jesus. Anyway, like I mentioned earlier, this was actually leaked earlier in the week, so we pretty much knew all this was already coming, unfortunately, and if we didn't know that, I think this would have been a pretty exciting moment for the show, seeing as how there was nothing else to be excited about. I mean, seriously, where is Gods and Monsters, Beyond Good and Evil 2, or Rayman? Like, it's almost like they just completely forgot about half of their Just Dance, for God's sake. Normally we get Miss Aisha Taylor rolling out with a fucking panda, dancing on stage, and all of that was just lost here. It's just kind of a bummer. And I mean, keep in mind, these are things that I normally wouldn't be looking forward to in a Ubisoft conference, but without them it just seems so dull. Anyway, I don't want to harp on them too much. I do realize that obviously with COVID and everything that had been going on in the past fucking year now, I'm sure all of their plans have just got totally screwed up. And on that note, they did say that they would be having another Ubisoft Forward later in the year. They have not announced a date for that yet, which I think was also a bad call on their end. But it does seem like we're going to be getting more Ubisoft something later in the year. I imagine that's when we'll see Far Cry gameplay, hopefully Gods and Monsters, maybe Beyond Good and Evil. Who knows when that the fuck is coming out. The whole thing was just kind of a bummer, honestly, especially when we're used to getting like, 1 or 2 weeks of serious game news from an E3. It's just been weird to break all this out over weeks and even months now. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to maybe having like a real E3 next year, but new video games I guess are cool. And probably my biggest takeaway from this is Far Cry 6. That's easily the thing I'm most excited about. Giancarlo Esposito looks amazing. And genuinely, I just hope that they have something more to show us here. I'm really starting to feel like this Ubisoft way of making games is just getting so old at this point. I mean, we were even tired of this when they were making Assassin's Creed every year. So if anything, I was just really expecting to see something different out of them, and we really just didn't get that here. Hopefully with next-gen consoles coming out at the end of this year, we can see something new and fresh come out of Ubisoft in the next coming years or so, but as of right now, there's just not a lot of reasons to be excited about Ubisoft, at least in my opinion. That being said, if any of you guys are really excited about these Ubisoft games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watchdogs Legion, or even Far Cry 6, please let me know down below. I'd love to get a discussion going about this and kind of see how you guys are all feeling about this Ubisoft Forward thing, and genuinely just these live events in general, not being associated with a big E3 announcement. That's about all the Ubisoft news I got to share with you guys today. We were talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watchdogs Legion, Far Cry 6, and even HyperScape. Like the video if you like what I do, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and have a kick-ass week.